Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today, it's the final match week. Done and dusted. The Premier League season is now over. Match week 38 is complete, and obviously the season's over, and we know the outcome of the season. And obviously, I've got my man next to me who is going to be in an absolutely terrible mood. So obviously, we'll discuss obviously each game and what it meant. We might go through the league table as well, but we'll have to wait and see. This might be a bit of a longer one because it's kind of like a season review, if that makes sense. But we'll review the games themselves first before we actually jump into it. But we are currently live on TikTok, so I'm just going to have a look at what people have to say. Okay, nothing that is of note. Okay, let's just jump into the straight game, first game, okay? And this one had quite a bit of context to it because it was Brighton versus Manchester United. Man United win 3-0, but Brighton still qualify for Europa Conference League. They got very lucky, let's be honest, to lose 3-0 at home and still qualify for Europe.
Yeah.
It just shows that you've done enough for the rest of the season, but it was very close. If Man United beat you by more, that could have made it very, very difficult. So yeah, on the Brighton side, obviously Conference League football. That's a good season for them. Only the second time they played in Europe. So that's that. And then there's the Man United side. We didn't need to win this game. We already had third secured like two games ago, right? But Bruno Fernandes finally broke that assist record. Now,
a bit controversial.
A bit controversially. Now, there's one thing whether that goal should have stood as a Patrick Dorgu goal and a Bruno Fernandes assist, and whether or not, I'm pretty sure what happened was there was question marks about it, and then they went to check it, and then they said it was a goal. Or obviously it would have been a goal no matter what, but what I'm saying is, it is Patrick Dorgu's goal, which I don't know how that works. I don't know. To be honest, me as a United fan, I'm surprised they gave it as not an own goal.
I'm surprised it wasn't given as an own goal, but the thing is, they've given it as a goal, so it's too late. There's no way they can just take back the decision. Not only because of that, but they've literally, they've acknowledged that Bruno Fernandes has broke the assist record. You can't acknowledge it and then go back on your word and be no, that was no.
That's goal, exactly it. It was. I would say it's just about being a mistake. The fact that you've acknowledged the fact that he's going, like, he broke the record because obviously it was his corner that led to the goal, and obviously once you start posting about he's broken the record and all of that, you can't go back on your word then.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless the goal got disallowed.
You just got to admit
offside or something.
You just got to admit the mistake again. They are again messing up again this season.
The thing is, Tom says that you should just change it. That's not really how it works because you can't, say someone breaks the record unless you do it straight after, like literally straight after. But they waited too long. Once you wait even 10 minutes into the game, you've given that time to rest. So you can't take that off somebody because of your incompetence. That's the incompetence of PGMOL.
I mean, look, after the game, they do sometimes give own goals like that. But my point is they didn't. They didn't even give it the day after. They still haven't taken it off him. So you can't now go back and be like, yeah, that was an own goal. And it doesn't count, in my opinion.
Exactly. Grayscale says here, not now. The season's over. You can't just change it because it was supposed to be given as
that was a mistake you made in the game, like any other VAR mistake. So you can't change it. So there you go. But yeah, that was that game. Really.
Yes. Sheffield United Blades says, what are we posting this on? This whole video will be posted on our YouTube channel, which you can probably find in our socials.
Yes,
in the link in our TikTok bio
at the top as well.
Yep, those are our personal accounts. We've got a lot of content coming out. Hopefully over the summer, we'll be doing not just football. In terms of obviously the league is over, we're going to be looking at potentially playing football. We're going to be discussing transfers. We're going to be doing a lot of games. So hopefully we can make it as interactive as possible, and maybe we can start doing lives on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not really much more you can mention about this game. This game is, other than those two topics, was quite irrelevant.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the next one, and it is, I think this game is really irrelevant.
Yeah, Burnley Wolves.
We're just gonna say it 1-1. Burnley versus Wolves didn't mean anything. They both stayed in their positions to draw, so had no effect on the season.
Yeah, literally.
This game is probably just about the same. Arsenal winning 2-1 away at Crystal Palace. The only thing that this game meant nothing to both teams. Nothing could have really happened. Maybe Palace could have finished a bit higher. Obviously, Arsenal already had won the league.
It was just trophy celebrations.
Yeah, so it was just trophy celebrations, but it was something quite poetic. The fact that the first season they finished second under Arteta, it was Crystal Palace away. and they lifted the title of Crystal Palace away. Not just that,
Oh, I did not
it was
know.
it was also nice the fact that Eze
Yeah.
chose Arsenal over Tottenham,
And
and obviously that all that song let it all work out and all that, and then he won the league at Palace.
Yeah.
Which must have been a very nice thing for him.
Yeah, very poetic.
But then also, a player for Arsenal, he was reacting to the West Ham result, and it was Declan Rice. And we'll probably mention this in about when we come to the West Ham game itself.
It was kind of, it was nice to see how much he still cares about the club. And a lot of fans have booed him when he's come to the stadium, and I completely disagree with that. And I think a lot of fans also disagree with it. About 50% of the fans are mad at him for that transfer, but personally, I'm with the other 50. I think he's in his rights to make that move, especially considering everything he's done for us, and he still deserves our respect. So I'm part of that 50% of the fans. So yeah, I was happy to see him win the league for his sake. And yeah, again, it was a nice moment to see that he still cares about the clubs, and
100%,
and no surprise that he does.
That's what I'm saying. Even at the moment, I was like penny for Declan Rice's thoughts, and it's obviously not an easy moment for him or any of the, even former West Ham players. Can I get a shout out to my brother? He's missing watching your videos in it, so he might come home. Jack, shout out to your brother. Yes, Declan Rice still cares. He still respects West Ham, and that is nice, to be honest. So no, 100%, and the fact that he, I mean, listen, you're not going to forget your roots. I mean, West Ham were the reason you made it professionally. You had bad moments at Chelsea and all that, and obviously they're the reason you are where you are at the moment, and you're a Premier League champion because of them.
Yeah, exactly. You can argue that we, in a sense, kind of made him as a player in that sense by giving him the chance and letting him develop. But again, obviously, he's done it himself. Like, I'm not going to act like it was all because of us. You know what I mean? He developed. He's a great player, and he deserves everything that's come towards his way. And I'm very happy for him, to be honest.
100%. Welcome back to the Champions League for Man United. Congrats. Thank you very much. I hope Man United will be Barcelona in the Champions League. That should be a good game if it happens. Relegation team, lol. There's no need to take the piss, mate.
Should we go on to the
England World Cup? Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's any good questions. Nope, there isn't. Okay, so Fulham versus Newcastle. Another game that is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah,
both teams couldn't really finish in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham probably had the better chance. They were in European spots for quite a while.
Yeah,
just dropped out. But yeah, I think Fulham are just like a mid-table team.
Yeah. But they're going to lose their manager, who is very likely to go to Benfica.
That's going to be interesting to see how they react to that. And yeah, but
they have a decent squad.
Yeah, they are a decent team, and I think I do enjoy watching them sometimes, to be fair. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sheffield United Blades says, imagine Bournemouth versus Milan. We will discuss Bournemouth in a second.
That's insane, actually.
We're gonna discuss that in a second. I mean, they could play Juventus too.
Yeah, but with Newcastle, definitely a very, very disappointing season for them.
100%.
They finished below Sunderland and they didn't get Europe.
Yeah, 100%.
So that is pretty poor for them.
Agreed. Let's go on to Liverpool versus Brentford. Brentford, unfortunately for them, they weren't actually able to get Europe.
That's sad.
Even after the great season they had, and obviously they definitely defeated expectations in terms of avoiding the drop and doing very well to finish mid-table.
And even get close to European spots.
Exactly, get close to the European spots.
They just couldn't get over the line. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. They will still be very happy with the season they had. Obviously, in terms of the game, the most important probably parts are the farewells for the players of Salah and Robertson. So
yes, I am a Man United fan. Sorry.
So yeah, that was basically the biggest thing that came out that game. Really, was giving the nice farewell to the players. And that's about it, really.
Yeah, it's now that someone like Mo Salah, I know he scored a lot against United, so I didn't really like him because of that. It's very sad to see him leave the league, and he got very emotional.
Yeah,
there was that video of his two daughters. They did an interview, and they said that their dad's kind of mid. He's only a 7 out of 10 footballer, and he should be passing and scoring more too.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was sweet.
It was very sweet. And listen, there's a special connection with Mo Salah and the Liverpool fans, so it's very sad to see the Premier League lose such a legend.
Yeah.
With that,
I'm
actually not sure. We don't know where Salah's going, but Robertson looked like he could be going to maybe even Juventus, because apparently they're looking to hijack that deal that Spurs had agreed. It's a good move for him. It's a good move to move abroad. I mean, we've seen Scottish players do well.
Could have Hull done something to get him back to play for them.
That's not a bad shout, to be fair.
That would have been a pretty good move for him, I think.
Yeah.
Like to go back to that club that that like made him and helped
This
them
game
stay
is
in
a
the
bit
Prem.
interesting now. Manchester City versus Villa.
Yeah,
Villa win 2-1. Obviously, Pep's final game, Bernardo
yeah,
Silva's final game, and John
mm,
Stones' final game. That's obviously one of the main talking points.
yeah,
Obviously, Pep being an icon of the Premier League, 100%.
yes.
Top two managers,
Last manager really of
100%.
his generation, if you know what I mean, from like the Klopp
Exactly. And
era, the
he, let's
Pochettino
be
era, and
honest,
that stuff. So
Pep absolutely changed Premier League football
yeah,
forever.
yeah. Whether you want to say for the best
He
or
had
the worst.
arguably this the same or similar impact Sir Alex Ferguson did on the Prem.
Yeah.
So you gotta just have complete respect for him.
Now,
But
sorry.
there's also
Yeah, Karen.
Villa. Sorry, I just wanted to say with Villa.
Yeah.
They were talking about them being on the piss while playing,
Yeah.
which is absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently Ollie Watkins was hungover during the game.
Can't you blame them?
No, I can't blame him at all. But I'm just saying, like,
Quite embarrassing.
it's like that's embarrassing from them because he scored a very good goal. He sat John Stones down,
Yeah.
put him on his bum, and yeah.
My question was this. So obviously we saw that Man City gave like the players a guard of honor with like 30 minutes left when they got subbed off. And I saw that Rooney and Shearer said that is like woke nonsense. It's you know what I mean? What is your opinion on that? Do you think it's woke that they gave the guard of honor 30 minutes with 30 minutes left? You get what I'm saying? Instead of like maybe after the game.
You mean Bernardo Silva?
Yeah, with Bernardo Silva and John Stones.
I'm sorry, I almost took the mic off. Listen, the game just means nothing.
Yeah,
it means nothing to both teams. So I don't see what
that. To be fair,
if it was a title game,
that's
where let's say Villa needed to win to qualify for the Champions League, or Man City needed to win, they would have just pushed them off. Because I remember games like that.
I don't even think they would have done it.
It's context. You got to take context into account.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Like you say, if there was something, if this game meant something, I would have totally been like, yeah, what is going on? This is absolute nonsense. But the fact that there was nothing in this game, like, yeah, I don't blame them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both sets of players didn't care about this game.
Exactly. So as Grayscale says, not like City had anything to play for. Yeah. So no issue.
I think the older generation of players, like the legends now, the retired players, their mindset, they're still stuck in the past. Yeah. Sometimes, you know what I mean? They can't seem to like get out of that mindset that they had like of how it used to be for them. Like they genuinely can't get away from that. Yeah. And I do think it's a bit annoying because when you watch them as pundits, I want good punditry, and sometimes like saying it's woke nonsense. Again, it is context. Like if this happened and there was something meaningful in that game, you'd be like, yeah, that is completely woke if I'm being honest. But like you say, there was nothing in that game, so why not? Yeah. It's nice.
Sheffield United Blade says, what do you think of Everton's season? We will discuss that in a second when we get to their game. Obviously, they could have done us a favour. What are your thoughts on Any Man in the Eye? We'll discuss that later as well. Final day was absolutely peak, except for the fact Spurs didn't get relegated. Yep. Let's discuss the next game, which has one of the peak moments. Bournemouth qualified for Europa League football after their 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest.
Crazy. Well deserved.
And very well deserved. And, it's kind of unfortunate the results didn't go in their favour for them to get Champions League football, because that would have been very nice to see. They would have needed Liverpool to win, where they didn't. Yeah. They would have needed City to win, where they didn't. Yeah. And they would have needed themselves to win, where they didn't.
Let's be honest. So, yeah. Realistically, we're going to talk about other games later, but like no game really went for it. Like, we were like all these scenarios. So this needs to happen for this team. This needs to. None of that happened. Yeah. Really, none of that happened. You know what I mean? But that doesn't matter. You can obviously not. You shouldn't rely on other people to do your job for you. Yeah,
exactly.
And obviously, we'll get to the West Ham game later and stuff. But anyway, for Bournemouth, I actually think they're probably better off getting Europa League. Now, don't get me wrong; it would have been absolutely insane to see them in the Champions League. But let's just be honest; they probably would have just got kicked out in the league phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's the point in that? Whereas Europa League,
who knows? I think Bournemouth have a decent squad, and Champions League football will attract players.
Don't get me wrong, though. Europa League, there's actually a chance of winning that.
True.
When I don't even know if they've won a major trophy in their.
I don't think they have.
So you know what I mean? So you got a better chance with the Europa League. In my opinion, I think they might have been better off with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Obviously, this game.
Don't get me wrong. You'd still be a bit upset about it, but.
Yeah,
it's not like no offense to Bournemouth, but I'm sure anyone knows that it's not like they were ever going to win the Champions League. Like, let's just be honest.
100%. Sheffield United Blade says Carvajal, Alaba, and Lewandowski, all free agents. Where do you think they'll go? I don't know actually. That's gonna be
maybe
questions.
if Bournemouth got Champions League football, maybe they could have attracted them there.
Yeah, that would have been insane to see.
Nah, I'm joking.
I don't know. Carvajal's an
question.
interesting one. I don't know where he'd go to. Maybe one of the.
Probably Saudi or something like that.
Yeah, I probably think he'd probably go Saudi, somewhere like that.
I think he's just too old and like.
Alaba probably the same. Lewandowski's someone I think might still want to play in Europe. I know he's not.
If he doesn't,
quite a bit.
I could see
him in a Prem.
I could see him going to a big club still. But if he does, if like no one goes for him,
Miami, one of them for Carvajal, probably, yeah.
Like my point is, he could probably also end up in Saudi somehow.
Yeah, 100%. I think all three of those players. I think all three of those players could join like MLS.
Because they've done enough. They've all done enough in their career where they're happy with the trophies they've won. And if enough money gets offered to them by Saudi, why would you say no?
100%, agreed.
Just retire there, get the money. Happy days.
100% agreed. Rumors. He said Man United wanted him. Is this Lewandowski? I would definitely take. Oh no, I've invited Moe. Moe, please don't join. I didn't mean to invite you. Please, if you don't mind. I heard about it. Yeah, no, I'd definitely take him as a good backup striker for Sesko.
Who, Lewandowski?
Yeah,
I heard about. I heard people saying that.
It would be nice to see him at Man United because he was
yeah.
supposed to join them. Before.
Like we already.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I'd say with that, the best thing that would come out of that is being able to have that experience for Sesko to learn from. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
even Sheffield United Blades is saying that Sesko's growth will be peak.
Yeah, but it would be a good mentor for Sesko.
Naz says, my condolences, Ali.
Thank you, Naz. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll obviously get on to West Ham later. Anyway.
Obviously, yeah, we'll talk about that. But let's talk about a team who've had a season where they have gone above and beyond what we expected for them. I mean, I think me and you predicted they both wouldn't get relegated.
Yeah.
But in none of our wildest dreams did we think they would qualify for Europa League football.
Yeah, no.
Now, that is absolutely incredible. The fact that they've done that is arguably one of the best achievements a promoted side has done in a long time.
I have to say, the way this club is being run at the moment is what a way a club should be run in the Premier League with the money that they have and how to spend the money correctly. They are a perfect example of how a promoted side need to be if they want to at least just stay in the league. However, because of the ambition they've had, they've not only been, managed to stay in the league, but get European football in the same season.
And that's exactly it. Insane. Sheffield United Blades actually says they barely won the playoffs because literally it was winner, like late winner after late winner. And then they've gone on to do this.
It's mental.
And this is we had a Hull fan earlier in the live, and obviously, I'm not saying Hull will do this, but if they follow the model of Sheffield United, I don't see why they can't push for mid-table or Europe.
Sunderland are now an example that other promoted sides should look at when it comes to how to operate when getting promoted into the Premier League.
100%.
Sometimes it's worth taking the risk. Because a big problem a lot of championship sides have is that they don't want to take the risk of spending a lot of money, regretting it when they get relegated because now they've lost a lot of money and they struggle now in the championship because of that. But sometimes it's worth taking the risk if you really want to stay in the Premier League. Yeah. If you do it correctly, because look, we've had teams like Fulham in the past that have tried that and it didn't work, right? However, sometimes it's worth taking a risk. Obviously, if you're smart with it as well, like Sunderland were, then it will do this for you. Bro, we they'd have been happy just staying in the league, even if they finished top half. But not only have they done that, they got European football, man.
Exactly, 100%.
I don't even know when the last time did they. I don't even know if they've ever had European football.
I don't know, but
they
probably have, but
probably when I wasn't even born.
Exactly. Grayscale says that
I'm 23,
it's
man. That's
always better when it's not just the same promoted sides getting relegated the same season. 100%.
Too bad that we were the ones that had to go
unfortunately, you were one of
that.
I think Hull is 50-50. I don't think they'll get Europa, but I think they'll probably survive. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying 100%. Nobody expects a promoted side to go and get Europe. I think this might be just a one-off.
Well, Wolves did it before as well when they got promoted.
That is true.
Wolves did it when they got promoted.
That is true.
But my point is, it doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen.
That's
like what, twice?
Nicola, that's an irrelevant question. Coventry could have a stunning season.
They could.
It's
all if, buts, and maybes. Until we see who they sign, you can't say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to wait because with when you saw Burnley and Leeds' summer transfer window, you could look at that and be like, they're not getting like They might stay in the league if they're lucky, but that's the best they'll get.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were not ambitious. Now, Leeds, on the other hand, in the January, they were a bit more ambitious. They signed Calvert-Lewin, who was an absolutely amazing signing. We'll get on to Leeds in a
Yeah, we'll
minute
move on to
anyway.
Leeds in a second. But we need to discuss Chelsea, I think.
But my point is, yeah, like when you looked at Burnley's all three promoted sides transfer window, you could tell Sunderland were probably going to at least do something, you know?
Yeah.
But still not European football, which is still crazy. But let's get on to Chelsea.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, I know you were going on a flow, but
go
still,
go
Chelsea. Exactly.
That's what you could say.
That's actually all you can say. The fall off from last season is crazy, and it's all their fault. They destroyed their season because they had Enzo Maresca and they looked like they were going to be cruising to top 4.
And this is why, this is something I always feel bad for the fans, because it's nothing to do with them. It's not in their hands. It is not in their hands when their ownership sacked the manager. Like Maresca getting sacked was an absolute travesty and a mistake. And me and you said it, everyone knew it, right? And it's so sad because the people who suffer from it are the fans. And there's nothing the fans can do. They have no control. And it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
100%.
Even with protests, it does nothing.
Yeah. Dylan says, yeah, cheers, mate. Okay. Chelsea, I don't think they will get top 6 again unless they risk a transfer.
Well, the thing is, they got a transfer ban, and they got a academy transfer ban.
So
that is not ideal for them. So they're gonna kind of have to work with what they've got. And Xabi Alonso coming in, okay, maybe he might be able to do something.
Someone's just said something crazy in the comments. We'll get onto that in a second.
Or like a crazy take, or
kind of. Go on, finish your comment, and then.
No, that was basically it. He might be able to do something, but it's not gonna be easy. It would be very, very. They would be an underdog to get European football, which is insane to think for Chelsea.
Yeah, I know. It is mad, but they've got, the thing is, they have quality players, so they just need to invest in them. Like defense,
Xabi Alonso with young players.
If they invest in the correct positions, I'm sure Xabi Alonso can do very, very well.
But what they can't, I swear, I just said they got a transfer ban.
I'm not sure. Do they actually have a transfer ban?
Yeah,
I don't know,
because they breached financial rules.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there are.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they got a transfer ban. I just saw.
Maybe someone will tell us in the live.
Yeah, someone tell us in the live, because I'm pretty sure I saw in a video earlier. Maybe that was from because I think they had that the other season as well. But maybe
there was news, but I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure they got a transfer because of Roman Abramovich. It's long.
I don't know why they have that now. Anyway, so one person in the comments says, Ishi says, "Wallahi, Arsenal beating PSG."
Honestly, yeah, it's
you
not.
You do realize they're gonna have a major
saying Wallahi is crazy, but bro, it's not as unlikely as it is anymore.
Don't say Wallahi though.
No, Wallahi's crazy. That's what I said. It's saying Wallahi on that is crazy. But my point
they do have a 1-year transfer ban, so you're right.
Thank you. But what I will say is, Arsenal getting over the line with the title will boost them massively.
And a 10 million fine. Okay.
The confidence the Arsenal players have, the shackles have been lifted. They have finally got over the line. And honestly, they're going to be playing with such a sense of freedom. It's unbelievable. We might not even see them playing set-piece football, for God's sakes. They'll be so confident that they might genuinely play some good football.
Yes.
Now, look, obviously, we made fun of them all season about their set-piece football. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. And honestly, if West Ham played that way, I would be more than over the moon. It doesn't matter how you play as long as you win. But anyway...
Listen, Ishi, we're not going to entertain your comments. You just said Saka's just as good as Messi as a winger.
All right, this guy is a deluded Arsenal fan, like the most.
It's results business at the end of the day. Grayscale says.
Yeah,
exactly. Not going to lie, but Arsenal just need good midfield, which they kind of already have. But if they improve it,
yeah. To be fair, they can probably. I mean, Zubimendi did start off the season pretty well, but he kind of fell off.
Ishi's asking who's going to win the World Cup. Obviously, Iraq. Obviously. Listen, we're going to do more World Cup previews further down the line. So if you drop a follow, any of you, we're going to have so much more content coming out. We're going to be covering World Cup, transfers. We'll be playing football. We'll be doing games. We'll be making it a lot more interactive because the lives now will be. Thank you for the follow-ish. And we're Iraqi, of course, we got to follow Sheffield. We really appreciate you follow, my friend. So for anyone who follows, thank you very much. But yeah, we'll have a lot of content coming up through the summer, so it won't just be obviously because league football's over. So we're gonna try and focus on doing bigger and better things as well. So hopefully you guys can be a part of that journey. So if you drop a follow, it'll be very, very nice. We're up to 30 people on the live, so thank you very much, guys, for joining. Are you live every day? Because I'll join. Not every day, but we'll try and go live as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
There are only a few days that are guaranteed we're not going to be live. It's probably Tuesdays and Thursdays. Other than that, we'll try our best to be live as much as we can. France are winning, man. Listen, we'll discuss the World Cup later, but we have 2 more games to cover, and arguably the 2 biggest games.
Yep.
No, we're not going. We're still carrying on. Don't worry. We're going to be discussing the last 2 Premier League games, and then we'll just probably go through the league table and see how that looks. Okay, so the game. Do you want to cover the other game first or this game?
No, let's cover this game first.
Yeah. Okay, so Spurs beat Everton 1-0 and to secure Premier League safety. And let's be honest, they didn't even have to try in this game.
No, they didn't. Look, man, a lot has been said about this game. A lot of people are obviously annoyed at Everton for not doing anything in this game. But why be mad at Everton? It's not their job to win this game. First of all, even if they did try their best, Tottenham were better anyway. Tottenham were good. Let's not make it out as if Everton were awful and Tottenham were just not like. No, Tottenham were good. They played that game very well, right? And I said to Carlos when I got to his house, I said, if Tottenham get the lead here, they've won the game. Because all they have to do is defend.
Get a draw.
Which is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Did they or did they not? They just got the goal and just sat back. And that was the right game plan. If West Ham were in that position, I'd want the exact same. Get the lead and just sit back.
Yeah.
But look, they did their job, and that's all that Tottenham could do, and they survived.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can't be angry at Everton, and you just got to say fair play to Tottenham. Even if it has been an embarrassing season for them, they still have survived in the Premier League, which is still very, very huge for them, because it could have been very detrimental to the club if they had got relegated in terms of finances.
Yeah,
but
100%.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a couple more comments to go through. Pedro's talking about Sporting. Unfortunately, Pedro, we're not talking about Sporting at the moment, but yeah, they did just lose the cup final against the second division side. Sheffield United Blade says my birthday is on Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday. I'm joking. Can I have a shout out? Yes, you can, of course. Shout out to you, Sheffield United Blades.
Happy birthday on Wednesday, mate.
Happy birthday on Wednesday. Maybe we go live on Wednesday and say happy birthday then as well. Yeah, Spurs, I don't know how they won. They won because they deserved to win. And Everton drew against Man City, which obviously means Everton have had the biggest impact on North London club seasons. They've helped Spurs stay in the league, and they've helped Arsenal win it.
Yeah, Everton are probably the most hated club at the moment. I'm just joking. Look, obviously there's a lot being said before the game. Is David Moyes, can he do one last favour for West Ham? All this and that. Look, man, at the end of the day, Tottenham deserved to stay in the league, even with how bad they were. But obviously West Ham were just worse.
Yeah.
We'll obviously get on to West Ham after this game, but look, there was just no fairy tale ending.
And that's it. Tottenham turned up. They did enough. They looked like they were the better side. They looked like a team that didn't, in this game specifically, they didn't look like a team that should be playing in the Championship.
Exactly. Look,
if they can build on it.
Honestly, look, man, there was just no fairy tale ending, unfortunately, for the season. You know, people thought, maybe there would be, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be, man. It wasn't meant to be. The stars didn't align. Yeah. So it is what it is. But
AJ says, why aren't you speaking about Mikel Moreno? Because he hasn't done much for Arsenal lately. Do we have to talk about West Ham, guys? Can't we just leave?
Is that Grayscale?
Grayscale, yeah. Unfortunately, Grayscale, this is the biggest. This is the biggest. This is the biggest moment of the Premier League.
We have to talk about it because we have to talk about why the season went the way it did.
Bowen will go. 5 teams want him. I don't know who.
If he goes, I said it in my own video on my own account. If you make sure to drop me a follow there. If he does go, he's been an absolute servant and he has all the right to leave.
Thank you, Sheffield United Blades. Happy birthday for Wednesday if we don't see you. And it's good to have you on the live, my brother. I appreciate you. AJ hasn't done much for Arsenal. Just came back from an injury for 6 months. I did not know that. I'm sorry.
Should we get back to the...
Let's get back to it. I just thought that these guys were going to say something useful.
That was a bit harsh.
Yeah, they're talking about Mikel Moreno. I'm sorry, it's not useful to what we're talking about.
Okay.
Well, did I say something wrong? No, I didn't say something wrong, did I? Why are you skipping my comments? Because it's, with all due respect, you're saying very controversial stuff. Okay. Al, West Ham, please.
Yes. Where do you begin? If we really want to say why the season went the way it did, there's only one place to point, and that is the ownership. The ownership are at fault for why this season went the way it did. And it didn't start this season. It started about 3 seasons ago. Actually, it started even further back than that. Look, obviously, there's been good moments under this leadership, this ownership. But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't necessarily put that down to them. For example, we won the European Cup. I don't put that down to the ownership. I put that down to David Moyes and the way he gathered those players. Now, look, to be honest, the first mistake they did was putting us into the London Stadium. It wasn't even just the fact that they put us into the London Stadium, but if you watch the video on the promises that Karen Brady gave to us about this stadium and what they do with this stadium to make it more of an atmosphere and more of a stadium that we can enjoy, she did not follow up on any of those promises. It was awful. She then ends up leaving in this season, just towards the end. And thank God we got rid of her because she's awful. One man down, one man left, right? Hopefully the next guy goes, but we'll see if he sells the club in the summer. The only thing is with that, obviously the value of the club's gone down. So will he sell the club? Probably not. Look, man, yeah, I mean, bad decision after bad decision from the ownership when it comes to the managers. You go from Moyes. Now, I want to talk, I really want to preface on this point, really want to hone in on this point, yeah? A lot of fans that don't support West Ham love to say we got what we deserved with Moyes. Please look back at the results towards the end of his tenure. We were getting battered by 4-goal margins, literally week in, week out. He won 4 out of his last 20 games. Klaus, he won 4 out of his last 20 games. Look, I respect Moyes. I love Moyes for everything he's done, and a lot of West Ham fans do. If any West Ham fan doesn't, we disagree with them. They're wrong, right? We have to love and respect him. But there comes to a point where you also have to move on. All good things must come to an end. Am I right or am I wrong, Carlos? Right? All good things must come to an end. And that was what it was with Moyes. It had to come to an end because he got caught out. They knew his game plan. He was getting caught out. He was being predictable. And he wasn't able to adapt. Now, do I fully think that is Moyes' fault? Honestly, no. Because in the 23-24 season, I even said to Carlos, that January transfer window honestly doomed us. We lost Pablo Fornals. We lost Benrahma. We lost a lot of players. And we didn't replace them well enough, which meant we lost a lot of depth that we had, which was helping us in that season and was the reason we weren't able to rotate properly. However, that happens. That wasn't the next. The next problem happens after that. We bring in Julian Lopetegui, who at the time I knew wasn't going to be good, but I gave him a chance. If Carlos remembers, I gave him a chance, right? You have to. Any new player or manager that comes into your club, you have to give them a chance. It's not fair to write them off straight away. Anyway, gave him a chance. Didn't work out.
Come back to your question.
And then we bring in Graham Potter. Honestly, if I have to be honest with Graham Potter, I don't think it's his fault that didn't go well. It's going to lead us to this summer that happened, okay? The summer that just went with the summer transfer window might have been one of the worst summer transfer windows I've seen from West Ham.
Yeah.
We just finished 16th. And the only reason we survived relegation is because their team was worse than us. And what did you go and do in the summer transfer window? And when I say the summer transfer window, I mean before the season starts, right? You signed, who did they sign, Carlos? We signed Diouf.
Nice try.
We signed Diouf.
You signed Diouf, you signed Callum Wilson.
On a free.
And you signed Mateus Fernandes and Magassi.
No. Before the season started, sorry.
Before the season. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought before the transfer.
No. Like, when I say the summer transfer window, I mean, like, the summer, you know what I mean?
Oh, by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. Someone tried to catch us out there. Nice try.
Okay. Going back to it.
I don't know. Who else?
We signed Diouf, Kyle Walker-Peters on a free.
Oh, Kyle Walker-Peters,
and Callum Wilson on a free.
Yeah.
Mind you, if you looked at the squad we had, this was the squad. This was the starting lineup we had. Areola, okay? Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, and Kilman. We had Ollie Skulls and a Cresswell left, so we obviously had to replace him. We replaced him with Diouf. Okay, nice. Okay. Now, this is where it gets bad. We're going into the midfield. This is what they went into the season with. Don't get me wrong. To be fair, the preseason may have given us false hope. But anyway, we go in with Guido Rodriguez. Maybe one of the worst players I've seen play for West Ham. But not even.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse and Souček. Tell me now, did I just name West Ham's midfield three or an old pensioner's home? or something, because that's genuinely what it seems like right now. I don't know if I just named a Premier League midfield or literally a nursing home, like people. Look, and it just got worse, man. It got worse. They waited right until the season started to make 2 midfield signings, which, fair play. They finally did it. They made Mateus Fernandes and Magassa. Okay. To be fair, the one thing I'll say about Graham Potter, for some reason, he decided that he wanted to prioritize a goalkeeper. And I remember telling Klaus the whole summer, why on God's green earth are we prioritizing a goalkeeper and not a midfielder or a centre-back?
Do you know what? I don't want to cut you off because you are on a very good flow. But you have an Arsenal fan here. Zero mentioned Declan Rice. This guy's clueless.
In what sense?
In the sense that, like, obviously, he basically said earlier in the stream the fact that the season that you sold Rice is where it all fell off.
Yes, okay, I can agree with that. But I'm going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. Because the next season, we finished 8th with Moyes. And yeah, now a lot of people, and again, I just went through those points. Moyes, why would you leave me? You finished 8th. You're not a team that just, it's not usual for you to finish 8th. So how can you sack a manager that did that for you? But again, I gave you my reasons. Towards the end of his tenure, why do I keep saying tenure like that? At the end of his tenure,
I was going to start
laughing. Is that why you're laughing?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't know why I kept saying
tenure.
Bro, do you know what?
You sound like a 5-year-old.
Bro, it's because of this other YouTuber. Anyway, basically the tenure with him at the end was awful, right?
Yeah.
4 goal margins every week. We were getting battered, right? It had to finish. Anyway, look.
Sorry, Ron.
Going back to the point I was just finishing on. So where was I? I was on about making the Mateus Fernandes signing.
You talking about the midfield, yeah.
And not prioritizing goalkeeper when they shouldn't, which is also partly Graham Potter's fault. And then we sack Graham Potter and bring in Nuno. I'd say it was pretty late as well. They made that sacking way too late. Yeah. I remember, I think they waited until the last, the second international break to make that move of sacking Graham Potter, which, to be honest, it should have been earlier.
100%.
And the January transfer window. Again, after such an awful start to the season, what did we decide to do? Not get a centre-back not even just the final day, until the transfer window essentially ended. Mm-hmm. It had literally ended, and then they made the signing. It just showed the lack of care and the lack of understanding of the football club this ownership and this recruitment team and this board had.
Yeah, Grayscale says that he doesn't know how Potter got all the time he did.
Honestly, look, I do feel bad for Potter, because honestly, if he gets those Mateus Fernandes and Magassa in the summer,
what do you think about his tenure?
Look, bro, I can't be asked for that, bro.
sorry.
Bro, look, my point is, if he got those signings in the preseason and had time to work with them, then maybe it could have been a different story. But it's all if buts and maybes. Look, the season's happened. I genuinely can't keep speaking anymore about this because I'm so infuriated. And there's so much more to talk about. Look, Nuno's time, if I'm being honest, wasn't as good as it seemed. The only reason the results started to turn was not because of Nuno, because mind you, a lot of the players, it's come out today, a lot of the players weren't happy with Nuno.
Yeah.
A lot of the players preferred Graham Potter's pre-match, what's the word?
Talk.
Not talk, sorry.
Routine.
Yeah, rituals. And routines. Nuno wasn't doing halftime talks apparently with the squad. So, and you could even see, not just with the James Ward-Prowse situation, but his treatment of Callum Wilson, who was an absolute servant for us this season. What a player he's been. The amount of times he came in clutch and never got a start is unbelievable.
Yeah,
that should have been a warning sign for against Nuno. And then when the only time the results started to turn was when Paco Jimenez came in, his assistant. That's when I started to realize, yeah, Nuno is not good. He was awful. And only now, after reflecting back on the season, I realized that Nuno was a bad manager. And only reason we did well was because of Paco Jimenez, the assistant that came in.
I think it's probably
and that's it, bro.
I think with West Ham, it's such a situation with the club, such a bad state. I think loads of good managers came in, especially, Graham Potter still is a good manager. I know he did bad at Chelsea, and I know he did bad at West Ham. Nuno is a good manager. He did very well at Forest. He's not a bad manager. He just had a bad,
Forest, he's a bad manager. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Maybe, yeah, he was bad. No, he definitely was bad. But he got you relegated. But the point is, I don't think he's a bad manager. It's the environment. Yeah. And it kind of reminds me of Man United. But obviously, Man United are doing well now. It's obviously not on the same level, but we had, when you have a bad environment, it's like there's the saying of, when you have one. Let's say you have one. Like, all right. The example is basically you have a bowl of fruit. Okay,
Yeah.
right. You have one rotten fruit. After a certain amount of time, if you don't remove that fruit, the rest of the fruit will become rotten too.
Yeah.
And that is sort of what's happened at West Ham. You had the rotten owner, which obviously, let's say, for example, it's a watermelon, and it's a massive part of that fruit bowl. And then you have all the smaller fruits like grapes and the apples and the bananas and whatever. Um, and obviously, that massive rotten watermelon will obviously have a massive effect on those fruits. It might take a while before it's really obvious, but it will happen.
Yeah, you're right. Honestly,
And that's the best analogy I can give.
That's a beautiful analogy, to be honest. But
And that's literally all you can say because yeah, it's all on the owners and it happens. And I said the same thing a lot about Man United as well, but obviously West Ham have had the absolute fatal moment in the in club history, especially in recent years. So that is all because of the owner, and it happens over time. All these people that come in, they become rotten as well alongside of the team and the ownership. So you've got to put the full blame on the ownership, and hopefully for your sake, for West Ham's sake, for being such a big club, you deserve more. The fans deserve more because they follow home and away. You can't go from a European title to getting relegated. It's absolutely insane. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think we want to talk about West Ham a lot more. We want to move on for your sake. Let's just read a couple of comments and let's see what's going on here. Reason to hide. Okay, that's all.
But yeah, man.
There will have to be a change in West Ham culture, new ideas, new leadership, new everything. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You got to remove it from the top. Once you remove the biggest problem, then it will start to filter down around the whole club. Yeah, if you get what I mean. PSG proved money can't buy chemistry.
So basically, I don't know if you've seen yet, but PSG recently, my only worry for that Champions League final is I'm seeing some videos coming out of PSG's training sessions and they ain't looking good, bruv. We've got the goalkeeper and Zabiani.
We'll discuss this in the next video on Wednesday.
But yeah, it's not looking ideal for PSG. If Arsenal win that Champions League, bruv.
We'll discuss it. Like I said, we'll discuss that game in the next video.
But then again, if PSG win that Champions League final or even lose it, RIP to Paris, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally RIP.
Like I said, they'll probably all be discussed in the next one. I can't believe we're getting Ederson. He's going to be another Ugarte or Fred. Need good players for Champions League. I think people don't rate Ederson at all. We haven't even watched him play in the Premier League. I don't like this this sort of mentality from Premier League fans.
Yeah.
They see a player coming from a foreign league and they just expect them to be terrible or good. They just go off sort of the reputation of previous signings. Yeah. That's not how it works. And Ali was saying the same thing about...
Got to give him a chance.
Exactly, got to give him a chance. And also,
anyone that comes to
same with Michael Carrick. Me, personally, I'm not the happiest that we've signed him, right? I'm not the happiest he's here full time.
Yeah.
But I would say one thing, now that he is here full time, you've got to back him completely. You've got to back him in the market. You've got to get what he wants. You've got to give him the best opportunity to succeed because he is here and you can't change it. You can't change that.
The fans have to support him, bro.
Exactly. With any of the signings he wants. Exactly. Fernandes will go to Manchester United because of Wilcox. True. Wilcox was, I believe, the director of football or something to do at Southampton.
He's obviously got a connection with Bruno as well. And to be honest, I can't lie. It's going to be long.
Again, these are all transfers, and we'll probably have a lot of transfer videos coming up in the rest of the summer. Obviously, there's a lot going on. World Cup transfers. Like we said, we're going to do loads of football games and all that. Yes. And hopefully we can make it as very interactive as possible. And maybe we can start doing interactive lives too, where we get you guys to join in and we can discuss. But we're just going to go through the Premier League table. Obviously, because now all of the spots are secured. Grayscale asks, you guys are going to be busy over the summer, lol. Yeah. Well, we want to be. We want to make it as interactive as possible for you guys because obviously sometimes it feels like it's a bit quiet, but we want to
give us video ideas and we will do them. So as long as they are
reasonable, appropriate and reasonable. Yes. Exactly. Okay. So I'm going to quickly run through the league table. I'm sure we'll have the league table in front of you, so for you guys to see.
Yep.
Okay. So Arsenal first, Man City second, United third, Villa fourth, Liverpool fifth, Bournemouth sixth, Sunderland seventh, Brighton eighth, Brentford ninth, Chelsea 10th, 11th Fulham, 12th Newcastle, 13th Everton, Leeds 14th, 15th Crystal Palace, 16th Nottingham Forest, 17th Spurs, and 18th West Ham, 19th Burnley, and 20th Wolves.
I don't know if you just named the Premier League table or a FIFA career mode table, bro. Because
it does feel
genuinely,
like that, to
that's
be
what
fair.
it feels like. Because
It feels like someone
what
took
do you
over.
mean?
It feels like someone took over Arsenal career
But like
mode.
genuinely,
Yeah.
that's the only time you see clubs like that in European spots. Like, sorry, what do you mean Bournemouth finished sixth? They finished sixth, right? What
Yes.
do you mean they finished sixth, bro? That
Sunderland
is
finishing 7th.
like,
Chelsea
bro,
finishing 10th.
this actually looks
There's always there's always some of the big clubs that finish low.
But you know what I mean? This only happens in FIFA career mode,
Yeah,
bro.
it does feel like
Genuinely,
a FIFA career mode, yeah.
who's playing this FIFA career mode right now, bro? It's crazy.
Someone's doing a Bournemouth career mode and they've got them in Europe for their first season.
Bro, it's insane. But honestly, it's been the craziest season we've ever had in a very long time.
Okay.
Like, honestly, with
I'm just gonna have a
everything
look
that's
at these
happened,
questions.
European spots, Arsenal winning the league,
Yeah.
the people getting relegated. Obviously, we got relegated. Tottenham got close. It's just insane.
Chicken Nugget Saurus, thank you for the follow as well, asks, what do you think Liverpool really need to do next season in terms of transfers? It's a very good question, actually.
If I'm being honest, one of them has to be the manager, and I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I know they said they were going to stick with him, and they also kind of went back on their word a little and said if they find a better option, they might move on from him.
Yeah.
I personally think they might have to move on from him.
I agree.
I know he had I think the credit's gone now. That Premier League win, I think that credit I got for that
is diminished the season. Yeah,
the season's diminished that,
and they've actually gotten very lucky. The fact they got Champions League football.
This happened. This isn't the first time we've seen a Premier League winning manager go after a season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. First of all, Chelsea used to do it all the time.
Antonio Conte.
And it worked. You know what I mean? It worked for them. So Liverpool should do it personally. And not only for that, but bro, if they don't do that, the outrage from the fans is going to be insane.
Yeah, the loads of the fans.
They're just going to get disconnect. The ownership will disconnect themselves from the fans if they don't sack him.
Yeah, I believe somebody earlier in the live as well. I'm sorry, I didn't cover the questions. There was a lot of questions coming in, but obviously we had things we needed to cover about Aston Villa, and he says, "What do you think they will do next season?" Honestly, again, with any prediction, you can't predict it.
We can't.
This season just finished. But I'm sure that Champions League football, they're going to play the Super Cup. Well, obviously, they're going to play the winner of PSG versus Arsenal. So that's going to be a very good game. Yeah, and I honestly think Aston Villa have a good chance in that game against whoever they play. Because they played PSG last season in the Champions League, 2 seasons ago. It's a bit confusing. When they played PSG in the Champions League not that long ago,
they
did very well. They gave them, and Rashford had a very good game. So yeah, it should be very interesting to see what Villa can do next season. How are you feeling after the relegation, mate? You're coming a little bit late.
Watch the video tomorrow.
Yeah,
you'll get a good sense of how I feel. But I just don't feel great. It doesn't feel great. I'm still not in the acceptance phase. Probably until the season starts.
Denial, yeah, exactly.
I'm still in denial, and until the season starts, I think I will be in denial. But unfortunately, that is the case. I'm going to try do a lot this summer to get it off my head. So yeah,
100%. Jose Carlos says Man United. Yep, 100%. Hot take: Villa are going far in the title race next season, says Villian.
Maybe. Potentially. I mean, they did it this season, and that
I think the thing that would absolutely help them is signings.
Yeah,
keeping their players. I heard Morgan Rogers. Villa might cash in on him, which is not going to be ideal because he's arguably being your best player.
Maybe if they get Morgan Gibbs White in exchange, it's not bad. But Morgan Gibbs White,
even then, I think Morgan Rogers is already here. He's already there. He's already performing.
Like
try and keep hold of your team, especially because you have another opportunity to get a trophy.
It really does depend on who you keep, who you can sign, and it's as simple as that.
That's exactly it, bro.
But I'm sure if they make the right moves in the summer, then again, they could definitely challenge for the title for a while.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, I cannot lie. We'll probably end the video here.
Yes.
I say we leave the games for potentially next time.
I think I went overboard with the West Ham games.
It's all right. I mean, you have every reason to go overboard. If we get Blade, Wilson, Balde, Wilson, Brobby, and maybe Rashford, we're going for it. I'm guessing you're talking about Villa. Fair enough. Wilson is in, I think, not Callum Wilson, Harry Wilson from Fulham.
Yeah. Oh,
that would be a good move.
I think that'd be a good move.
Yeah, I think that's a very good summer transfer. And if you get all that, then I don't see why you can't.
Brian Bobby though, why would he leave Sunderland? I think you got a good thing going. You got European football.
Yeah, true. Who knows?
It depends how much money you offer, to be fair.
Yeah, who knows? Grayscale says, good episode as always. Thank you very much, Grayscale. You've
Thank
been
you,
a big
Grayscale.
part of it. You asked some very good questions, which made it very, very interesting. So
Yeah.
you guys are making this way more interesting. See you later, Cillian. Yeah. But thank you guys very much for coming in. We really appreciate it. And we're gonna end the video there. So we will see you on the next one. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified when we upload videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Take care.